Hi guys, welcome to Dolphinwatch Q A as part of Tory's first ever community online festival. My name is Sadie and I work for RSPB Scotland as the Community Engagement Officer for North East Scotland, and I also manage the Dolphinwatch project based in Aberdeen.
Hi guys, my name's Neve, RSPB's Dolphinwatch Visitor Experience Officer. So usually at this time, we'll be running our seasonal Dolphinwatch viewing at Tory Battery. And usually we help people spot the dolphins, we talk a little bit about the marine wildlife that we can see at Aberdeen and the threats in which they face. But we also hold events such as beach cleans and rock pools as well. But since we're unable to do that at the moment, today we're going to be answering some of your most commonly asked questions about local marine wildlife. And we're also going to show you some of the marine pictures we've taken on site as well.
Okay, so we've got a few dolphin related questions that we get quite regularly. And the one that I always remember, because it's normally the first one people ask when they come on site, is when and where can we see the dolphins in Aberdeen? So obviously they've come up to site at Tory Battery, and that is one of the best places in Europe to see bottlenose dolphins without having to leave the city. So Tory Battery overlooks Aberdeen Harbour, beautiful view, and the dolphins come so close in that you don't even need to leave the land to be able to see them. You could also watch from Aberdeen Beach. Lots of people have come to me saying that they've walked along Aberdeen Beach and seen dolphins, and they've just had the best time watching them from the beach. When is a bit trickier. So unlike Channery Point, which is more tide related for dolphins, Aberdeen Harbour isn't. So from over the years, we've collected casual sightings, but we've also collected shore watch data for whale and dolphin conservation. And there doesn't seem to be a clear time of day that we see dolphins. So we can see them at low tide, we've seen them at high tide, we've seen them in the morning, in the evening, during the day, and for 6 hours straight on some days, which has been amazing. So unfortunately, we're not able to give people the best answer for what time of day to come. However, we can give you a good answer for what time of year to come. So May to July appears to be the best time to see them. They're seen most regularly. However, that could just be because more people are watching them, because they are resident to the northeast coast, so they can be seen all year round, even at Christmas time. So another question we get asked quite a lot is, how big can dolphins grow? And I'm going to pass over to Neve for this one.
Yeah, so the Scottish bottlenose dolphins are particularly special, mainly because they're literally the largest, the darkest, and the chunkiest found anywhere in the entire world. And that's mainly because they're at the most northern range of their territory. So that means they need to have a real thick layer of blubber to ensure they stay warm in the cold Scottish seas. And because of this, they grow to a length of 4 meters in length, which is literally the longest that a bottlenose dolphin can grow.
Okay, so another question we get asked a lot is, how long do bottlenose dolphins live for? Now, we generally say that they can live on average between 30 and 50 years. However, females can actually live longer than males, and females can live up to, and if not more than 60 years, and males more than 40 years. And the oldest recorded female bottlenose dolphin was called Nicola from Florida, and she was 66 years old, which is incredible. So it's quite clear that dolphins in the wild do actually live longer than those in captivity. And that's one reason why our partners, Whale and Dolphin Conservation, campaign so strongly to end captivity for cetaceans. The way we can tell how old a dolphin is can either be through long-term study, following them from when they were young, from when they were a baby, through photo identification, or by looking at their teeth. And if you look at the cross-section of their teeth, you'll see rings just like you would on a tree, and that actually tells you how old they are. Okay, and another question we get asked, quite a lot actually, is, can you tell the difference between individual dolphins of the same species? So can I tell one bottlenose dolphin from another bottlenose dolphin? And the answer is yes, it is possible. I'm not the best at it, I will admit. However, it is possible. And this is done through, like I mentioned earlier, photo identification. And this is looking at the markings on their dorsal fin, which is the fin on their back. And they have marks, nicks, scratches, bites, chunks missing from them, which is caused from fighting or injuries that they've collected throughout their lives. And so you can look at those, and a bit like fingerprints, or a bit like the way we all look different to each other, you can look at those and you can work out who it is you're looking at. And the way we can do that is because places such as University of Aberdeen will go out each year, they'll take photos of the dorsal fins and they'll match them with older pictures from the same dolphin, and they'll be able to show how those marks have changed over the years, or how many different marks they've collected over the years. And this is really important. It helps us determine age, like I've said, family trees, and also we can work out where individual dolphins spend a lot of their time. Okay, and another question, which I'm going to pass over to Neve, is how can you tell the difference between a bottlenose dolphin and a porpoise?
Yeah, so the biggest difference between a bottlenose dolphin and a porpoise is their sheer size. So Sadie's going to show us their skull sizes, and you can see literally just a sheer difference of the bottlenose dolphin that you can see there, and it has just a really long nose and a really big head. And when she shows you the porpoise, you can see how much smaller it is in size as well. And that's mainly because porpoises can only grow up to 2 meters in length, when, as we know now, that Scottish bottlenose dolphins can grow up to 4 meters in length, so double the size. And another thing to look out for is their dorsal fin, which is the fin on their back. So for bottlenose dolphins, the dorsal fin is curved in shape, when for the porpoise, it is triangular in shape. And this is a really important one to keep out for, because porpoises are usually really quiet and reserved. You won't see them splashing around, playing around, or anything like that we see the Scottish bottlenose dolphin do on almost every day at Tory Battery. And then I actually have a question here for Sadie as well, and it is, why do the dolphins hang around in Aberdeen Harbour?
Okay, so the easy answer and quick answer for that is food. So Aberdeen Harbour is an amazing feeding ground for them. Their fish are constantly migrating in and out of the river, so the dolphins know if they go there, they're in for a really good meal. So Neve, do you want to tell us what dolphins actually eat then?
Yeah, so dolphins feed on a range of fish, squid, and crustaceans, so it really depends on what they're in the mood for as well. But during the springtime, the dolphins in Aberdeen love to eat the salmon. So this is mainly because the salmon love to migrate up and down the River Dee, and then the dolphins find this easy food to find. But then during the winter, they change their diet and they go maybe a bit more into deeper waters to look for more crustaceans and to look for more fish. But they also like to eat herring and mackerel during the winter as well. So Sadie's actually going to show you the teeth, and this is, you can see here that they're actually very cone shaped, and this means they're interlocking teeth, and they can't use these to chew the fish. So when you do look at dolphins, you might see them throwing the fish up into the air, and this is mainly because they need to swallow their fish whole, so they need to make sure it slides right down the throat before they can actually consume the fish.
I always enjoy watching them throw fish. Okay, and we've got another question that we get asked. How long do dolphins hold their breath for? So this is actually quite a good question. It's one of the reasons that Shorewatch, which is a citizen science program that Whale and Dolphin Conservation run, they do 10-minute surveys to watch to see what they can see. And the reason they do 10-minute surveys is generally the dolphins will surface at some point in those 10 minutes. Dolphins can hold their breath for up to 12 minutes, but as I say, they will generally come up more often than that. So the 10-minute surveys are done that way because at some point in that time you will see them, because generally they'll hold their breath for up to 12 minutes but come up a lot more than that. And my favorite question is, how do they sleep? So how do dolphins sleep? And I love this question because I just think it's so clever. Now, granted, they're not the only animal that does this, but I just think any animal that can do this is incredible. They switch off half of their brain. So they will sleep with half of their brain, so that one half is sleeping and they can rest, but the other half is still alert, and so they can work out if there's any danger around. But more importantly, dolphins have to consciously choose to breathe. So unlike us, we breathe naturally. Dolphins have to choose to breathe. Every time they take a breath, they've consciously chosen to do that. So they have to keep half of their brain active and alert to know when they need to come up to the surface to breathe. So on to some less dolphin related questions and more seal related questions, because we do get a lot of those as well. And Neve is going to answer these questions because she knows so much about seals. So the first one is, should I be worried if I see a seal on land?
Yeah, so this is quite a common question that myself and Sadie even get as BDM lore medics. So we assist and rescue injured seals that do occur around the Aberdeen location, around the city. So but seals are actually okay on land. They need to come on land. So seals need to come on land to rest, so they need to sleep, and they need to regulate their body temperature from the cold and harsh seas. So they need to keep it, just kind of absorb that heat until they can go back out again. And this means being on land, they can actually shut down their entire brain, just as Sadie was saying with the dolphins keeping that half awake. They can actually shut it down completely on land, so they can completely sleep. But then when in water, if they need to sleep in water, they have to only shut down one half their brain. So they don't get the same rest in what they would on land. However, they do get frequently disturbed by people and dogs on land. So what happens is they actually have to rush back into water again, and they don't get the rest that they need, like we get our 8 or 9 hours every night. So we do try to make sure that people do stay away and give the seals the space that they need so they can thrive, and then they can keep on going out throughout their day and then sleep as well.
Brilliant. I think that's really important to remember. It's great to watch the seals on land, but just keep your distance so you're not disturbing them.
Definitely.
Okay, and another one, how can I tell the difference between a grey seal and a common seal?
Yeah, this is a common question. It can be quite easy once you know the difference, but it can be really challenging once you're trying to learn it. So grey seals are more common than common seals, which sounds a bit confusing. But I have actually a grey seal skull here I can show you. So a grey seal usually has a much longer muzzle than a common seal. So it looks more dog-shaped, as you can see in the skull. And as well, grey seals have parallel nostrils. So they would have 2 parallel nostrils right there as well. But then the common seal is different because it has V-shaped nostrils on its nose, and as well it has a much more squished in muzzle. So it looks more cat-like. And a lot of people do say the common seal is much prettier looking than the grey seal, but I am quite a favoritism with the grey seal because they do look very snotty and fatty as well.
I think I agree with you. I much prefer grey seals, but I prefer them because of the wee white coat pups, which you're about to actually go on to. So why do baby seals have white coats on them?
Yeah, so grey seals are the only ones with the babies with the white coats. So that white coat is actually called a lanugo. So a lanugo is on the grey seal pups for the first 3 weeks of their lives. And this is mainly because grey seals very strangely give birth during the winter months when it's absolutely Baltic in Scotland. So because of this, they don't have that layer of blubber that their mother has yet. So they grow a bit of fluff when they're born. So they have that little white fluff to keep warm. And then once they suckle on their mother for the milk, they gain 2 kilos every day, which is because it's the fattest milk in the entire animal kingdom. So that means they get fatter and fatter and fatter. And when they gain this blubber, their fur starts shedding off, and then it exposes that new and beautiful coat underneath.
Oh, I absolutely love watching grey seal pups. Thank you.
And then we have another question for Sadie. I will pass it on to her. And other than dolphins, what else can we find at Tory Battery?
Oh, I do love this question because obviously everyone knows Torrey Battery for the dolphins, but it's absolutely incredible site in Aberdeen. We're so lucky with the amount of different wildlife we have right on our doorstep, so close to where we all live, to the city. Last year during Dolphinwatch viewing, we actually recorded over 50 different species of birds throughout the season, which was incredible. So we actually had puffins, which isn't a regular thing, but we did see puffins. We see gannets quite a lot. We see turnstones, purple sandpipers, oyster catchers, eider duck are generally always there. Same with cormorants and all the different types of gulls as well. We see lots of different types of gulls. But we also see things like the seals. So we generally will see a few seals throughout the season. And if we're lucky, We'll see otters. We had an amazing sighting of otters last year during the festival for half an hour. Watching it eating a fish was incredible. We've seen porpoise, which are sometimes confused for the dolphins. So we get very excited when we actually realise we're watching a porpoise because it's quite rare. We've seen minke whales. I remember when we first saw minke whales in 2018 and we all started jumping around like little children because we were so excited. But also humpback whales and orca can be seen from Tory Battery. So it's absolutely incredible sight. And, you know, I know a lot of you are locals, but if you haven't been up there, I would definitely recommend visiting when you can, when it is safe to do so.
Such amazing diversity in Tory Battery. I'll never get over it.
And the last question I've got for you, Niamh, is who do I call if I see a wildlife in need of help?
Yeah, so we do get this question quite a lot, and it's quite an important question because when you do see a wildlife that needs help, it's quite urgent, you get a bit frantic, and you just want a phone number at hand. So in terms of marine mammals or seals, we do recommend calling British Divers Marine Life Rescue, and that is they rescue any sick or injured seals or any stranded seal or any stranded cetaceans. So you can see Sadie is holding up the numbers there as well if you want to take any of the numbers down while I'm talking away. And then as well for any other wildlife such as injured birds or injured mammals, for example, the great number to have is SSPCA or New Ark. They will take in the animal, they will rehab it, and then they will release it once it's healthy and fit and be able to thrive back out into the wild again. And it's always best to contact these numbers before going near the animal in distress or anything like that, because we want to make sure that we don't cause any damages or break any bonds between any parents or offspring or accidentally injure them even further or even injure ourselves as well. So they are good numbers to have on your phone, definitely.
Brilliant, thank you. I think it is really important that so many people want to help wildlife, which is absolutely amazing, but just making sure that, you know, you're calling the correct people and you're not actually causing more harm than good in trying to actually help. So they're really important numbers to always have to hand. So that's just a few of the questions we get asked on site. So hopefully you've learned something new or just enjoyed listening to some of the answers and seeing some of our favourite photos as well. And if you are able to, if you are local, I hope it's inspired you to have a little visit to Tory Battery and just enjoy the absolutely amazing animals that you can see there. And I hope you do enjoy if you do manage to get a chance to go up there and visit. So that's it for us. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the festival, the online festival, and we hope to see you at some point at Tory Battery in the near or distant future. So bye guys.
Thanks for tuning in.